I worked with Gordon Ramsay, Marco Pierre, Joe Latunes.
What was the transition from the clubs into the restaurants?
Well, Marco made a very relevant point, you see, at that point. I know Marco since he was 19 years old because he was shagging the lead singer, female, of the first band I ever managed, which is how I met him, right? And he was a sous chef at Le Gavroche at that point, and we've known each other for a long time. And he opened the Titanic, which is round the corner from here. And he said, Mark, the only reason why anybody goes out on Tuesday? To eat. And he has a fair point. Right, it's very, very unlikely, unless it's your birthday, that you're going to have an event or go somewhere on a Tuesday. But you do, in those days, you went out for dinner. I mean, I don't see anybody goes out for dinner because it's too goddamn expensive as well. But that's a different story. But the whole, the whole thing, it morphs. So Titanic was the first hybrid supper coming back. When I was a kid and I wanted to date a girl, I used to go to what was a dinner and dance place because there were no, there was a gig or a dinner and dance place where a DJ went on and there was some flashing lights and you had a bit of really crap dinner, prawn cocktail and a bit of steak and some Black Forest Gateau. And in those days you didn't get a shag at least till the third or fourth date. The point is that Marco came up with this thing and he was absolutely right. So if you've got a bunch of people having dinner on a Tuesday, you've got more chance of having a party because they've had a few drinks and everything else. So we created in Sugar Reef, in Red Cube, and in Titanic, and indeed at the Embassy, a sort of hybrid dinner and dance. Sugar Reef, we used to call it total entertainment and affordable glamour, because you could come, you could have a cocktail, you could have a drink, you could have a cup of coffee, that you sat and had dinner, and then you went to the nightclub, then you went home. And when I moved one on, I foresaw the end of the big high-end posh nightclubs because we had two. We had Red Cube and we had Sugar Reef, and there were 2,000 people between them, and we were really struggling to get 2,000 people in 1,000 in each unit.
When was this? What year?
1999, long time ago, before you were born. Into 2000. But it was, even then, it was beginning to wane. It was just, it dissipated, and there were characters. There was me. There was Peter Stringfellow, may rest in peace. There was Johnny Gold. There were a few people that were hosting clubs and everything else. And it was a very personal thing. You came to door and you asked for Mark Fuller. When I sold Sugar Reef, I sold it to a corporation. I think they're still going, called Tiger. And I met the manager there and he said, I fucking hate you. He said, I bought that place off you 3 years ago and people still come to the door and ask for you. And my first ever documentary I did on BBC One, I swore more than Gordon Ramsay.
And what documentary was that?
It was called Recipe for Success.
How did you get that?
It was about Sugar Reef, and they wanted Marco Pierre. Marco never appeared on telly. So they sold it into BBC One, the PR company, as me and Marco, but Marco never appeared. And I filmed a bit, and frankly, I was quite drunk at that time, because that's how you lived, right? Not always drunk, but quite drunk. And they came and filmed, and they've been waiting for Marco, and he never turned up. And they actually went to the editing suite and they were editing it. And the producer said, we were just about to pack it in. He said, we were trying for Marco. He was the big shit. He was really the biggest name, right? At that point, way bigger than Ramsay and all that sort of stuff. And he said they were in the mixing room or whatever they call it, in the editing suite. And they just had me, and I was fucking going, fuck this and fuck that, and doing some stupid joke, throwing things at people and this and the other. And they were apparently looking at going, okay, it's okay, but it's not what we wanted. And one of the producers from BBC walked past the suite and I looked and he went, he's funny, right, about me. And in that moment, he got saved.